Exchange 2 update. Oh, we found out this week that...
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
Gyumin is also reacting to the new season of Exchange with Wonbin.
So you made a joke and you said, we got to get Gyumin on our show. I think what we really got to do is we got to go on Gyumin's show.
Also, he posted like he was in Chicago 3 months ago. I'm posting a picture right now. Things could have happened. We could have met Gyumin. And we could have been like,
doing
how dare you?
3 months ago.
Here, sitting on this couch, talking about OnlyFriends. We didn't even know if Exchange was going to happen. We were like, we know it's
coming,
but we don't know when.
Yeah. They were filming it 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Boys Love Exchange 3, the recap show in which we recap Exchange 3. And we're two boys who love it. I have my not Stanley. This is an Owala.
No lead in Owalas?
No, there's lead in all of them except for Hydro Flask.
So there is still lead there.
So the lead is inside. Mm-hmm. The lead is in between the outer coating and the interior coating because it is what they use to seal the insulation.
Okay.
To keep it cold.
Yeah. We are inhaling plastic as we
microplastics.
Like,
I'm not saying I'm pro lead. That's not how I'm coming out on this podcast. And I'm not coming out to say I'm pro lead, but I am saying
what isn't killing us.
It creeps. There starts to be a little creep toward nihilism, where it's like, what's the point?
What's the point? Yeah.
So I'm just gonna drink my little Crystal Light packet.
Just let me drink my Crystal Lights.
I promise the lead can't be worse than whatever's in Crystal Light.
Last we left off, Adam, we were in a tense fight between exes.
We were. We had recently discovered Seokyoung and Juwon were exes, and
we watched them break up.
We watched them break up basically on the show because she had ghosted him. In order to be on the show, one of the people in the couple has to reach out and audition, basically. To the production team.
And be like, I think my ex and I would be a great fit for the show.
And the production team then reaches out on behalf of you back to your ex to see if you would be amicable.
It's like your ex wants to, yeah.
I don't know if there's a sane person here or ever to have been on the show who is the one to reach out first to be like, I think my ex and I are a good fit. And you know what? I don't think Dongjin's a perfect guy, but like, why are we reaching out? Okay, this is Dongjin Daye, 4 months. They're filming.
4 months. 4 months after the breakup.
When did he apply? When was the audition?
As soon as they broke up?
The minute they broke up. So then, you know, some of these girlies get little deals after these shows. They get little booked and blessed.
I think it's just,
So then it starts to be, my third eye starts to open.
Okay.
And I start to become a little Doctor Strange. And I think to myself,
what a wonderful world.
No. What if it's a ruse? What if it's a rusical?
What if it's a rusical?
Now, what if this was a rusical, first of all? But what if this is a ruse?
So, like, the exes are like, hey, let's play
Maybe
it up.
Maybe not all of them, right? There's some, like, K1 and Huiyeon. That was, like, ages ago. So I think that one's like,
the fresh ones are. I think you're taking a bigger risk with the fresh ones.
I'm looking at it with an interesting magnifying glass. Yeah. I'm doing a little Detective Conan work.
Because I think, like, you know, like our future guest Gyumin and his relationship, like, so much time has passed.
Just the 4 months of it all is very interesting, and it's also interesting
and the fact that two people.
Yes,
there are two couples that are freshly.
I think technically it's 5 for
Seokyoung and Juwon.
For Seokyoung and Juwon, but
I think they cast it 2 months ago. I think they cast it 2 months
before
the show.
So it's been 2 months since he left his 13-year relationship, and he was like, "Sign me up, girlies."
But I also wonder if it's like friends that are like, can always do exchange. It's a pretty epic story.
I mean, I think there is probably a part of you that applies for shows like this, and you're like, I'm never going to get selected.
Totally.
Which I think was like Jungkook Dabbit in His Man 2 was like, they're never going to take me. But might as well throw my name in the hat.
People in like hundreds of people playing.
Right. Show me the receipts. Because why would Xi Jinping want to flood my basement and rust my Bowflex?
To what end?
To what end? To what end? Here's what episode 6 entails.
I felt like there were 12 episodes in this one episode. There were so many things that happened. I was like, Jesus.
2 hours and 3 minutes that felt like 3 hours and 8 minutes.
Truly.
Yeah.
And we were watching every single minute.
We were. Okay. The girls and the boys separately are going to go to the anonymous chat room. They're going to hop on to MSN. They're going to log into the little chat room. And they're all going to speak to each other.
Yes, they're all going to have fake voices.
Fake voices. Okay. We'll talk about that first. Then we're going to talk about a date.
A date that happens.
A surprise date.
A surprise date.
We're going to discuss potential upcoming dates. Freestyle dates. Let's call them. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what they call them, too.
And then we're going to talk about the texts.
Yeah. I love that the texts have built up now that like now it takes up a whole half-hour segment to just go through the texts.
Yeah. They go to the group anonymous talking room, the girls do.
Shout out to the production designer. The threads in the different colors that continue throughout all 4 rooms. It's so cute. It's beautiful. And I think it's
when the show started and I was like, oh, they really are leaning into this thread motif.
They're going to run out of things to do with the thread.
And you know what?
They continue to innovate.
At some point, they're going to do like the can with the little...
Cute. With a heart that's in the middle. The thread is forming a heart.
Yeah, cute.
Open home in this neighborhood that they have turned into a black box because it's the same room because they show the same hallway with the different spools, and then when they go into the door, it's either the chat room, the chat your ex's room.
I'm very confused how this works.
Yeah,
because you have to find an Airbnb or whatever. You have to find this studio, house, that they can live in. That has to be close enough to an empty
thing,
warehouse, something
studio.
But also, there has to be another space for them to create the X rooms that I have a feeling we're still going to get in this season.
I think so. And
then there's the last season they also had the media presentation room of their X history story. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of production design going on.
And you know what? I appreciate a good tactile. Yeah.
So the girls go in there first. Seokhyung is using a dialect to kind of...
I feel like I could tell if I've been listening to the same people talk over and over again for the past 3-4 days. I can tell the inflections, the intonations. Yeah. So she's really the only one who changes it.
Daye asks about if anybody likes Dongjin or if anybody's texted Dongjin.
Yeah. Yoo-jung asks if anyone has gotten texts from Juwon
because she's interested in
Juwon. And obviously Seokhyung also says yes.
Is Yoo-jung the first girl to be like there's one person verbalize that there's one person she's interested in?
I think so because everyone else is kind of playing the field.
Seokhyung has been like, oh, there's someone she said something that she kind of likes someone and we kind of discerned that it was Hwiyoung. Seokhyung.
Yeah. I thought see that's the thing. I think she likes Kwang Tae also.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those situations where I haven't gone on an official date with Hwihyun. And for some people that's why I'm most interested in them right now because I haven't had
I don't really know them. Yeah. Hye-won reveals Mama that she is gunning for getting back with Hwihyun.
Yeah.
4 days ago, you cut the ribbon. And of course, that doesn't mean anything.
4 days ago, you cut the ribbon. 6 days ago, you were mad at this man because he broke up with you because he didn't have, he wasn't man enough. He was
incredibly unkind.
He wasn't man enough to admit that he is too poor to be in a relationship.
Yeah. So I don't even think it's man enough. I think it's just he wasn't he just was a little shit.
Yeah.
He was a
So
college student.
So he tells you that he doesn't love you anymore. Because it's better to hate him than to actually know that he's incapable of being a boyfriend.
And now you want to get back with him.
And now you want to get back with him, which, look, he's really charming. And I can tell that
cute. He's
very
cutie
cute.
patootie.
And I can tell that he's probably, like doing his best. But it's just funny because you were so adamant about no, you broke my heart.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now
it's not even like
they compare us like it's like they're in college again. Like it's all of a sudden we are back.
They're so
goofing around.
flirty. Like
Yeah.
there is a bit of the show too that I think has the like theater camp energy of being like you just start to you're stuck
summer
with these
camp.
people.
Yep.
So you're like, oh, maybe I do have a crush on that person, even though I know that I shouldn't.
But I'm not convinced that they shouldn't get back together. I could see.
I am rooting either way for them. It doesn't matter to me. They're not the couple I'm watching the show for.
No,
for sure. But I like both of them. I think they're magnanimous.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both cute.
Yeah,
they make a really cute couple.
they do.
I'm not mad at the situation.
Yeah,
Seokyoung also kind of reveals that she's not against getting back with her ex. And this one, I'm a little less... I think of the three couples, this is the one that I'm like, we should not be getting back together. We need to be diversifying, okay? You can't show me... And I think Ju-won did own up to the fact that he was whiny and he was like more intense than he should have been, blah, 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 blah. I think it's very hard for you to show me that and then me being like, I really hope she gets back with him, honestly. Honestly, work girlfriends. No one's doing that. No one's watching the show being like,
he can change.
I don't even think like they need to change.
No.
I just don't think
that was the reason why you broke up.
Because they don't handle conflict resolution similarly enough.
No.
Or they at least can't meet in the middle. So like, baby, unless you guys are able to like be malleable with each other.
Yeah.
Let's just let sleeping
Okay, now
dogs
before
lie.
you get into this though, we do have to address that the girlies called us out last week that it is actually in the package they do. Ju-won does say that he would just say that he's sorry to end.
He would just say that he's sorry.
conflict.
There was two things we missed. He would just say that he's sorry, and then also in the infamous night, the night of 1,000 misfortunes.
Yes,
she fell.
not 1,000 shares.
She fell asleep in front of
A fan.
So her eyes were dry. And she was like, my eyes are dry. And he was like, oh, because you fell asleep in front of the fan. Which she didn't like that answer.
Because
it came off, instead of being like, oh, I'm sorry, your eyes feel bad. Do you want eye drops? He was just like, yeah, you
dummy
fell.
ass. Yeah.
I don't think he said that. But I think it was, the implication is like, where she took it as...
I'm asking for some
empathy.
You could also just be like, oh, I'm sorry, do you need something?
Yeah.
As opposed to, well, duh.
Yeah.
Which is it's a very RJ thing to do in this household, I will say.
Yeah, Seokyoung had said, I'm sorry, to make it clear, Seokyoung said her first choice was Ju-won. That was the question. That was her answer.
Yeah.
And I think we need to, and I think, to quote Tati, choices.
I think that'll change when she gets on a date with Hwi-hyun and a better date with Kwangtae where she feels better.
Right. She hasn't really had a good date yet. No. So the boys come in and they do their group chat. And
Ju-won right away is like, I know everyone's voice. I listen every day for a living. And so I can hear.
He knows exactly who the voices are.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you most interested in getting back with your ex or not your ex? So Dongjin and Kwangtae say not their exes. Hwi-hyun doesn't know. He's indecisive. And Ju-won says he wants to get back with his ex.
No.
What's going on?
Because I do. Okay.
We're still in a very fresh period from when this breakup happened.
And it
happened last night.
Yeah. But I genuinely think they care about each other, that they're like, I think we can crack the code in order to work together and figure out how we can be together. Which I think is like, I mean, that's...
I don't...
That's valiant.
I'm not mad, right. I think it makes sense. Of course, this is what you try to do. You try to like patch things up, fix things, put a Band-Aid on it, figure it out so that you can, you know, you don't want to have to start over. Starting over is the worst part. That's what feels like you're like...
Everything...
You've do not pass go, do not collect $200. You're starting over from scratch.
Yeah.
You're at Baltic on the game board. You're an ironing board and you're at Baltic. Oh, Jesus. I would feel more understanding if they hadn't already done the 1 5-month breakup already. I would be a little more like...
Because it's like, well, you've already tried this once before.
Yeah, and I know. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, and then your second attempt at being in a relationship, you just fell back into it. Or
and it seemed
you
to
did
go
a Band-Aid.
worse than the first time. Girlies.
So maybe you're just not meant to be, and that's okay.
That's okay.
And that's okay.
Every lid has a pot, but not every lid is made for every pot.
Because it seems to me that like...
Unless you buy this Instagram. Today's sponsor is
the Instant Pot.
What is this called?
Our Place. Don't tell the girlies about Our Place, because they're gonna be like, bitch, you got influenced, bitch.
He hasn't even used it.
I have used it once or twice, Adam.
He bought it like a month ago.
We have used that. I could believe that Yoojung might be like, oh, same. That's how I resolve conflict. I want to get it done right away.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Juwon can find someone that he is...
Oh, there's...
you can find someone that you can have that fit, so it's okay.
Very easily. I feel like people are really either one way or the other.
Yeah. Or be with me.
So, Kwangtae and Juwon are fighting over Seokyoung. And it gets... I don't want to say heated, right? Because, like...
But I think it's because...
In an American standard, this is the tamest show imaginable,
yes, but because Juwon knows who it is. And so he's like, well, they already went on a date.
I don't think... Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Juwon likes Kwangtae.
I don't think so either. I think he thinks it's...
I think he thinks he's really cocky.
I think it's cocky. I think he thinks it's cocky. Not that it's an act, because I do think that he's genuinely a hosting type person.
Right,
but
and I do think Kwangtae is naturally confident.
Like that. Yes. But I don't think Juwon likes that energy, because it's like, tone it down.
Why are you trying to impress me?
It's like, why are you trying to be the owner of the house?
Yes.
There's no... yeah. It gives Hido and Tae, where Hido was like, I just don't like him.
Oh my God, that's right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, they just didn't like each other. It was very weird.
Yeah.
When the show started, if you had been like, the girlies are going to be fighting over Seokyoung, I don't think I would have believed you.
I know.
But I guess it makes sense because she really kind of... I mean, I guess her and K1 are similar in that they're both kind of cute.
Yes.
But I think Seokyoung is so like...
She's like visually, it's like mousy.
Yes.
But her personality of just like being...
It is like interesting because because she looks like she would be like very quiet and like shy.
But she's almost kind of tomboyish a little bit.
And she's like fun. Like she has a weird sense of humor, which is very charming.
It's like, it feels very removed.
It's understandable why there's something about her that's like interesting that I think people like latch onto really easily.
And why I think Juwon is probably like...
I'm never gonna find another.
Should you just be friends? Could you do that maybe?
Well, this is
straight.
Let's ask the audience.
Let's ask the audience, because the gays, we can. It's all fluid anyway.
It's all,
you know,
honey, it is fluid.
It's fluids, and it's mostly fluids, honestly.
I mean, comics have been asking this question for 40 years now.
Men and women actually be friends?
Men and women be friends? That's the entire premise, by the way, of When Harry Met Sally. My favorite romantic comedy of all time.
You like it better than Sleepless, or they're both tied?
I like Sleepless better, yeah.
What is my favorite rom-com of all time?
But it's like hair splitting, miscongeniality.
Would that even count as a rom-com? Because it's just a small part of it at the end.
I think that's what you like about it, though.
Because, I guess Legally Blonde is the same way. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, just enough.
You would rather have a female-driven comedy that has a romantic comedy element as the B plot.
Yeah. Ooh, that's it.
That's it. That's that.
That's
you know
it.
how Netflix has those like female-driven comedies with a B plot romantic comedy. So
Because you enjoy female-driven comedies with a
Yes.
romantic comedy as is a B plot. If you gave me like a rom-com first, but I don't even
I
know,
know
if
what it is.
What is it?
It's Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, I think in the modern era. I think like in the modern era.
The modern era.
But back in the dark ages.
In the 1900s.
Yeah, in the 1900s, in hag times, I would say My Big Fat Greek
The
Wedding.
good times and hag times.
I would say My Big Fat Greek Wedding, but that might be that's more of a family comedy than anything.
I'm saying you don't like
You don't-
the rom-com as the main part of the comedy.
Part. Yeah, because I need to watch the.
Is that Bill Paxton? No, that's Bill
No, it's Bill Paxton.
in Sleepless.
Bill Pullman.
It's Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman.
Where he has the allergies.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yes, you are.
That is me.
You are. What's his name?
What does she say? Walter. Walter. Oh, what did he do yesterday? That was so funny. And then Rosie's like, Rosie O'Donnell. No one is interested in Daiye.
Dungeon
asks,
feels really bad because he's like, I think, and I can't tell if he is like, it's sad for him because she's seeing her not put herself out there, but
This reminds me of Heian last season.
yeah,
The guys that were living with her in the house were like very
Heavy.
respectful, very nice to her,
Yes.
but like it was very clear that she was very hung up on her
Yes.
ex, so there were no point.
and then when Hyungkyu came in, it was like, who is that?
And he
my
just
Nuna?
like didn't care. He
Yeah.
was like, he like knew she was still hung up on him, and he was like, that's fine, I'll wait, because I'll prove that I'm the guy for you. And the fact that they're still together, maybe I'm ruining our chances of getting Cuban on the show by talking about
Given,
this.
sorry, Given, but it's great. It's great storytelling. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, couple of the century. Yeah. Mama, the
Ju-
boys are
Fighting.
over Yu Jung.
Yeah, they all think she's pretty. They all want to go out with her.
I mean, so do I. I mean,
Yeah.
get me in on this call. I'll be like, yeah, Yu Jung's
yeah,
gorgeous.
Yujin's gorgeosa.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden,
Ju
they're all
is-
talking.
They're all talking. Someone is like, "What's your type? What's your ideal type?" Basically, do you like cute or do you like cute or?
They
It wasn't sexy because it changed to sexy. It was like, do you like cute or something? And then
cute or love. I think it was cute or love. Something.
and then Kwangtae
And then somebody was like,
Kwangtae was like,
the
usually
question
there's
is,
together. Yeah.
cute or sexy.
And
And so
then
they were
the
like,
someone asked
the voice.
Someone asked, okay, then yeah, cute or sexy. And so people said cute. And then Juwon goes, was that a fifth voice?
The goop and the gag at which we scrumped and screamed. Yeah. So then we were like, oh, there's a fifth guy. Wow.
There's a fifth guy asking about who to
The girls.
And then it would be like, oh, because Naon
Nan.
did this, and but she asked direct. It was like, you're talking to one of the girls. All the boys
Yes.
thought
All the boys thought they were talking to one of the girls.
to one of the girls that's currently
But
in the
she
house.
was talking to
But she
all the
was
guys.
but she was actually
one by one.
one by one as a new person, and then she picked a date. So I was like, oh, it's a new guy, and then he picks a
Based
date
on
based
their-
on all what the other guys are saying.
Right. So he's gonna pick Yu Jung.
He's gonna pick Yoojung, obviously. And then they show a gorgeessa wig, like hair slick all the way down, so cute. And it's this girl, the new girl has been pretending to
Mary.
be Mary. Mary has been pretending to be one of the guys.
Ironic part of her being like, is anyone athletic? Is anyone into sports? And they were like, because they still think it's a guy this whole
Yeah.
time. The whole time, they're like,
Yes.
it's a guy.
It's a guy.
And then
There's a new guy that's coming.
yeah. And so she asks if anybody's in sports, and they all say yes, they're all active or whatever. And they ask her what her they ask this fifth voice
what their favorite sport is,
and they say
soccer.
I can't even handle the pronouns at this point.
Yeah.
She says soccer.
She says soccer. We know it's Mary.
We know it's Mary, and by Mary, I obviously mean Sangjong.
Yeah,
I loved this. This is like
it's
great.
It's
5
good.
minutes of like, and then they keep cutting to the panel, who's also like,
it's a girl.
Yeah, it's great. So then from this, she picks of the 4 guys who she's most interested in, just from hearing their responses and listening in on the conversation.
She feels a letter, like just decides based on letter.
She chooses
and then the
letter C.
Letter C, and then the letter is delivered in the room.
Yes.
And so Juwon just gets a random letter
that
while
tells him
sitting
to
there.
Go to a cafe.
Go to a cafe. Because of your answers today, you are going on a date with this. You are going on a date. Show up to this location.
Yeah.
And he's like,
okay.
And he immediately thinks it's someone from the house that had been listening to the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like now and in last season, Mary shows up. She's very cute. Cute.
I am obsessed with her.
Yeah. She is like a spark of lightning.
I love it.
Bottled lightning.
It's such a good... She is the one you want to withhold, to be like, and then drop the bomb.
She's a good surprise.
Yes.
Because
she's not
like
the other girls.
They talk. She's like, yeah, like I play soccer, da da da. And Joanna's like, oh, I'm goo goo gaga over soccer. And she's like, me too. I love playing it. And everyone, even the panel was like, a girl playing soccer?
Yeah.
Because
honey, it gets worse.
Honey,
so then they're like,
worse.
She tells what her job is. She says she has 2 jobs, and he says, well, just tell me one of them. So she tells him that she helps seniors with like physical therapy.
Yeah, basically. It's like she makes custom exercise programs for senior citizens.
Right. Cool. That's
amazing.
Awesome.
That's an amazing.
Super cool.
Yes.
Very interesting. Explains why she likes to be active. Great.
If this was just the only job revealed,
I still think it would be
I would have been like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And also makes sense why you're so athletic and competitive. Because it feels very much like maybe you were active,
She went to like college for like sports medicine.
Yes.
Like that type of energy.
Or like she was a track star in school. So she was like, I picked you because they asked like, what would be a dream date that you guys would want to go to in the rooms? And he said to go to a theme park.
An amusement park, yeah.
So I really thought we were going to get another day at Everland.
If only. The sparks between them flying, ricocheting everywhere.
We know Juwon is playful when he is like on it, right? But
he's very charming in a one-on-one session.
Yes. Sangjung is like,
she's
already your bestie. Do you know what I mean? One of those people.
Now watching this date back, it makes a lot of sense knowing her like personal background as to why she feels very comfortable being like, let's play like these basketball games at the arcade and stuff like that, and feeling like very competitive.
Yeah.
She's just a breath of fresh air.
She is.
I love it. I'm obsessed with her.
She's so cool.
She's so cool.
But not in a cool, like it girl cool, but just a cool that's like.
Because she is like cute.
Yeah. But she's a girl that's like, I've done probably the most amazing feat a human person could do in the world.
I'm kind of in an elite status of people.
You could say that. So they go to an arcade and it is the cutest date.
I wanted to live in this state for the rest of the episode. I would have been so much fun. Fine with that.
Juwon beats her in basketball by one hoop. And she was like, it's because he's tall. He was able to get
She was really it really is just because he's tall. That's the only reason he beat me. It was very funny. But then he keeps like letting her win.
Because he felt bad for that one. And she's like, I wasn't as happy at that because
I could tell he was letting me win.
Yeah.
It's so funny. This all, looking back, is very funny.
Yeah, it's very cute.
So it goes great. It's a winning date. I'm really happy for him after last night.
After having a public breakup.
I think it's good to have this moment so he can be like, I don't think Seok-hyung is maybe the only person for me in this house.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Because later on, when they come home from the date, the girls... So when we come home, after this date, they come home... People are just kind of like coming. I think everyone just had like a regular day. Hyewon and Yoo-jung are like back home, and they're just like, I'm so bored. No one's here. Let's cook some. There's air fry some dumplings while no one's here. It was Juwon. Juwon's the one who comes back home first. Oh yeah, Juwon, you were very popular in the group chat today. People were saying that they want to see you, and he was like, really? That's crazy because I've been mad for the past 3 days. And
he was like, today's the first day that I decided I'm going to be...
myself, basically.
Myself. And this is the first day that the show was like, he's going to be the main character.
Yeah.
Because he was the main character
Juwon is the main character of this episode. The girl...
Hwee-yeon comes home.
Hwee-yeon comes home. He had a test.
He has to study for his midterm.
He has a midterm tomorrow. The girls are like, where are the other guys? And they're like, oh, I think they went to the gym. Flash to a scene of Dongjin and Kwangtae working out, which this episode technically already started with them working out at home. But now we're at a gym where sleeves are cut and legs are spread open, girl.
Girl,
in this house.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Gimin's definitely not coming on the show now. Let's move on.
Seok-hyung comes home. And
they say, where were you? She said, it's a secret. Now
Juwon technically asks her. In like, there are like other people there, but Juwon was like, oh, where were you? And then she goes, it's a secret, because she's technically telling Juwon and like the other girls.
Yes.
Now, my third eye then started opening as well. And I think the girls also had the new guy
in their chat.
And they didn't catch on. Or the guy maybe just didn't ask any questions and was just listening.
There's two things. There's a reason that I think I agree with you. It is her coming home and saying it's a secret.
It's a secret.
But also it's Seok-hyung. And she loves a little role
goofy.
play.
Yeah.
She's a little goofy. Okay. We could be chalked up to that. When they were making the dumplings, there is this weird offhand now they know that there's potentially more people coming. They know that
there's someone coming. Yeah.
But for some reason, they are discussing it as though it's happening tonight.
That the new guy is coming tonight.
Nope. That the new girl is coming. They say the new girl is gonna come today.
Oh.
Because then like they reacted. The guys, they would think it's a girl they were talking to.
Oh,
in the chat.
You're right. They do say girl, not guy. So they did know. Do you think they did know that there was a fifth voice? And so they were like, the fifth girl's coming.
I think that's why the girls' conversation was so short, is because we're going to get the rest of it next week. So, yeah, the muscular boys come home. They're making dinner.
They wear the aprons, and it's so funny because they look so
They're so hot. Whatever. LOL.
Dahye comes home.
Yeah, everyone's home. Hwee-yeon and Hyewon have this very cute moment on the couch.
Because he's studying on the couch, and she's like, what are you studying for? What are you majoring? And then when they notice...
and he's like, oh, this is for... what is he? He says he's studying...
He's media and communications. But
he's a double major.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he said he was a Korean language major as well. And so he's like, it's for my Korean language class. And she was like, oh, you're a double major? And he was like, yeah, you know this. What are you doing? And she was like...
They thought it was fun because he was like, oh, you really are a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's cute. I like that little moment. Yoo-jung is just like goo goo gaga eyes for Juwon.
Just going for Juwon.
She had moved his laundry to the dryer, so he sees that. And then I think it just sparks him to be like, I'm just going to go for it. In my new alpha male energy.
Yes. Juwon is like, should we have that afternoon meal? And she's like, yeah. So I think they make plans for the next day.
Dongjin's mom owns a kimchi stew place, and so the kimchi stew is chef's kiss.
And so that's when I was like, that's the business that he had to help when he came back from
He came
service.
back from the military, yeah. And then blah blah blah. It's all going fine. Ding ding dong.
Ding dong.
At the doorbell.
Yes.
And it's Miss Sang Chong.
Miss Sangjong has arrived.
And she introduces herself to everybody. They take to her very quickly.
It's very funny because Hyewon is the one that goes out to check, and Huyeon chases her. Like, also, like, runs to be like, I want to see too.
Because again, the guys
think there's
another
new guy
coming. So he doesn't want Hyewon to meet him
the new guy
alone. But it's a girl.
It's
Sangjong.
Sangjong. She's so cute.
Dinner. She's so
she
cute.
comes in. Everyone. Now, Adam, riddle me this. Riddle me that. Why has Kwang Tae clammed up?
Kwang Tae has stopped speaking. Kwang Tae
has not spoken.
I think if you would ask Kwang Tae, he'd be like, "Oh, it's just because I don't handle makgeolli well," which I don't know.
About that because you've been drinking every night.
Yeah,
he does get red. He
very much has the Asian flesh for sure.
But maybe there's something else going on.
Maybe he knows Sangjong.
And there are people that notice. All the girls actually notice right away.
Dahae is like,
yeah. It's Kwang Tae.
Why are you being
ex
weird?
Is here. Yeah. Dahae is fully like, I think Kwang Tae's ex is here now. He has like completely shut down. He bowed awkwardly, and he keeps kind of like
twice.
Yeah. He keeps kind of like sitting behind and above Sangjong to kind of like take care of her and like get her stuff. If she's looking for something or like needs something, he'll get it right away for her. And Dahae was like, I could tell that he wanted to like take care of her like that. And what does Kwang Tae do? Be a menace and start asking every girl out.
Just every girl in the vicinity.
Literally, he goes upstairs. Dahae, who was having a moment because it's Dahae.
Because she hears Dongjin ask Yoo Jung out for a date.
Right. So she goes up and like retreats basically and sits on the couch. And Kwang Tae goes up and happens to see her there. And it's like, well, we can work out again if you want. But then they kind of just like comfort each other. Dahae was like, well, how do you feel? Because she's like, about your ex. And he was like, oh, just everyone here. I just, I'm still kind of like getting to know everyone, whatever. Like he's really trying to couch it. But Dahae was like, girl.
Okay, girl.
Your fucking ex just walked in here.
Yeah.
And then when Yoo Jung went upstairs to use the bathroom.
I can't believe you don't even want to talk about her profession.
Oh, yeah.
We learned what her second job is.
We learn what the second job is. And Sangjong.
Legend, icon, Olympian
gold medalist
from the Sochi 2014 Winter Olympics. And you're going to say, well, I'm racking my brain. I'm thinking all of the sports at the Winter Olympics. There's figure skating. There's luging. There's... What's this one?
Sure.
With the broom?
Yeah.
On the ice? What's that called?
I don't know.
You don't know what I'm talking about? It's the one they play.
I know what it is, but
Curling. Too many we need not mention.
Yeah. No, bitch. She's a speed skater. She also referees for like I think the national team.
Yeah. She's the youngest speed skating referee
in Korea.
Amazing. She's a I love her.
And Dongjin was immediately like, I've heard this name. Yes, I've heard your name as like one of our many gold medalists from Sochi.
Yeah. I love it. I'm obsessed with her. I love her.
I wish we could grant casting Emmys to Korean shows.
I know. I wish reality shows got casting Emmys in general.
The Traitors won last year. The
For casting?
Yeah, first season. Casting in a reality show.
Dongjin's go. Okay, so there's a lot of freestyle dates happening. That's pretty much the end of the episode. Let's just quickly go over these texts.
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap it up. Okay. Unfortunately, Daye
gets no
text.
She does text Dongjin.
She texts Dongjin.
And Dongjin is just like, I just feel bad already hearing the boys we're not interested in her.
Yeah.
But then now also this, which makes me feel like she's
not trying.
She's not trying. But I don't think you can blame her.
And I don't think he is. I don't think he is blaming her. He's not mad at her. I think he just wishes that she was in a similar place about the situation that he was.
Yeah. But they both know they can't be together. But I think
she has not, anytime it is asked, do you want to get back with your ex? She's never said yes.
Yeah. So yeah. Because I am trying to compare it to Haeun and our future guest Gyumin, but I can't. I don't think it's exact 1-to-1 because it doesn't feel unrequited, like, or one-sided.
And I think the Gyumin Haeun, it was more hard for Haeun than it seems. I think it's hard for Daye too.
Yes,
and I think it's even fresher for Daye, but I think. It seems like they both knew it was coming.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whereas with Haeun, it did feel like she was blindsided by
because like she was starting this new career. And at the time,
who are we talking about?
Haeun.
Okay.
Was starting a new career. And I think at the time, Gyumin was already like, I'm ready to kind of.
It was 7 years, right?
Yeah. And like, I'm ready to like just start a new life now. Sorry.
Yeah. Yoojung got a text from Dongjin, so he's going for it. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone likes Dongjin.
Because even Yoojung was like, I didn't actually know if Dongjin liked me or not. I thought he asked me for donuts because I was the only one home, and I think he was, and she thought that he was just trying to like be sociable.
Yes,
but I didn't realize that he might actually have feelings for me. But Yoojung, I think, is so set on Juwon right now.
I think she's very set on Juwon.
Because she doesn't even... Like, there was no real chemistry with Hui-hyun, and she wasn't giving vibes to Dongjin, even at the donuts. So,
no.
Even when they're, like, talking.
Yeah. Seokhyung gets a text from Kwangtae, and to figure out that date or whatever, Juwon gets a text. She gets two texts. He gets one from Yoojung and he gets one from Sangjong. Mm-hmm. He sends his text to Sangjong, which I think makes sense because he went on a date. I think he's also I don't think he's only being nice, but I think the date went well.
The date went well.
She's fresh. Yes. She's new. Yeah. We want to make her feel welcome, blah, blah, blah. So I think he texts her. Yoojung is a little hurt by that because she's like, you just asked me on a date.
And now you didn't give me text. I know.
But she doesn't even know that he went on a date with Sangjong.
So she just thinks like, oh, probably.
So then why'd you even ask me on a date?
Yeah.
Haewon gets a text from Huiyeon. And Huiyeon gets a text from Haewon.
It's cute. It's fun.
It's cute. It's fun. It's just funny.
It's funny.
It's funny.
And I think it's going to get
so young.
Yeah, they're so young.
They're so young.
And I think it's just going to get messy. It's primed to get messy.
Yeah. Kwangtae gets a text from Seokhyung. So those two also linked up and matched. So there were 3 matches.
The cliffhanger was weird for this episode because it was that Kwangtae asking Seokhyung out.
Kwangtae asks Seokhyung. He leaves the room. Yoojung goes into her room.
Catches him leaving her room.
Hearing the end of their conversation and does this weird face.
Look,
because they haven't revealed Kwangtae or Yoojung's ex. Or Seokhyung's, obviously. Or not Seokhyung, Sangjong.
But in the trailer for the next episode, Yoojung and Kwangtae are doing the face mask together in the couch. The subtitles were like, I feel like I'm your second choice or something like that.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Because...
But it's the subtitles. It's not what's being said
It's not what's being said on...
It's audio from...
It's audio from something
wherever.
Else, yeah.
So is it what she says to Juwon?
Anyway, the show
continues
to shock
and surprise.
Yeah.
So we'll be here recapping.
Maybe we'll have a guest. It's Rosie and Anna.
Can we get Haein?
I would love to get Haein.
I would learn Korean if we could guarantee that I get Haein on the show. I would learn Korean.
Really? Not for Kim Tae-rae?
There's no way in hell we would ever get Kim Tae-rae on the show.
Just like a conversation. A conversation with ... Kim Tae-rae.
Actor idols on idols.
Idols and